Alright guys, hello and welcome back to Diablo 3. We unlocked this central place in the archives of Zoltan Kuhl last time. So now we have to open 2 shadow locks, which we'll do now. And as I said, this is a bit of a go and fetch kind of part of this particular game.
Angels are no better than demons. Did you know that they once voted on whether or not to eliminate all of mankind? Only one vote saved us from extinction.
I sense the hand of Tyrion.
Yes, whatever else he may be, he is the aspect of justice, and there is no justice in murder.
The fallen lunatics are the most unstable of their kind, causing them to overproduce highly combustible fluids in their abdomens. I believe this imbalance must be inevitably fatal, leading the lunatics to puncture their stomachs and release their explosive bile in a terrible display when enemies come too near.
There we go. The lunatics they are kind of enemy. We've just seen them now. They were those things I'm just standing on. Actually, let me just make absolutely sure I have the... yes.
These gates are treacherous. They keep us out, but they also keep Kuhl's wards inside.
I'll keep the zombie handler passive skill anyway. Yeah, they basically run up to you and blow themselves up, so... again, a kind of enemy you see in lots of games of this particular style.
I was hit.
They're not that bad to combat, but somehow I feel like the toads aren't the ideal weapon because they are a little random, and you don't have much time to react. When they run up to you, you have to kill them fast, or they will blow up. I'm guessing it's still easier for, well, for any ranged class than it is for a melee class. Because their suicides do a lot of damage, which you probably don't want to take. Yeah, wow, I've got 4 zombie dogs now. Last time I checked I was on 0. But it's fair enough. I'm not complaining. And I seem to be incapable of destroying this urn. There we go. Had to use my haunt ability. These things here come alive and they summon imps, I believe. But luckily with the toads, they're fairly easy to deal with, which is good. And I'm really hoping for a level up soon. Well, it's gonna happen soon, so that's fine. I just wanna hopefully change my active skill to something different again. And I'm telling you, that giant toad is useless. Oh, a boss. It can happen that the boss groups are actually hidden in the ground, like these imps. The imps can hide underground, so makes it possible to actually miss boss groups. Oh look, and there's a elite group, or at least one elite creature. The rest of the group we don't seem to have aggro just yet. So I'm assuming they're up here? Yes. And these are the lunatics, as you just saw. They do blow themselves up rather frequently. And rather violently. Fine. It's like such a waste using Haunt on an urn. But toads aren't that good at dealing with them. This is a dead end. Very good. So I have already mentioned it before, but at this point, if I do not like a rune I'm getting, I'm switching just to using the skill without a rune, basically. It seems to me to be fair, and as the giant toads have shown, there are certain runes which, at least for my playstyle, are complete rubbish. I'm hoping there won't be any more, because obviously I'd prefer to stay true to my original intention and just keep playing as I originally intended. But if that just can't work out, I feel I'm forced to switch. Because imagine doing this with like the giant toad, which has a recharge. It's just rubbish. Anyway. Lots of random...
I am hurt!
Whoa, 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 whoa. That's not nice. That might have been a lunatic blowing up, or
Look, just over there. I never imagined such a creature.
maybe I just got hit quite badly by the elite mob. Oh dear, lunatics. They don't have much health, but as you see, if they blow up, it actually does a lot. I also haven't played in a while, so I'll actually go and check back which runes I currently have on my skills. Okay, Resentful Spirit to make it quicker. Gargantuan has a new ability. I forgot to use him. This just reduces mana cost. Okay. And the zombie dogs I know now have a chance to give me...
I could have helped all men become Nephilim and ushered in a golden age. But my Herodic brothers could not accept man's true destiny.
And this is where I need to go, so I'll now move back. Because as you can see, we're still missing some bits. And I honestly forgot to summon the Gargantuan. That's what happens when you don't play for a week. You forget things. Well...
Though I find him repulsive, I cannot deny Ku's brilliance.
Nothing interesting in terms of loot as of yet, so we'll have to go on carrying the same kind of stuff we already have. Sad face. Oh, I see a treasure goblin. Or rather a treasure bandit, as they are called in this act. Later on, they're a good source for high quality gold items, as in rare items. Not so much this early, obviously. I think most gold items I got on my first normal difficulty playthrough were actually from the big bosses. Stuff like the Butcher and the Skeleton King, because they have a guaranteed amount of gold drops, and anything else would just be random. Even though I have to say I did find those legendary boots just by accident, which I honestly had not expected. I did know there were legendaries which drop at low difficulties, because there are low level legendaries. I just didn't know I didn't expect to find them myself. Because actually the way it usually works out is that the low-level legendaries tend to be the rarest ones. They're not very valuable as such, because obviously you only use them while leveling up. So the majority of the game you spend at level 60. But they tend to be very rare because no one's actually farming them. The high-level ones, obviously, people farm high-level maps because they want high-level drops.
This is the machine.
We will seal the Shadow Locks with vials of his blood, and we will hide the blood in the desert under eternal guard. I can only hope that the world does not forget of Kuhl's evil, and his blood remains undisturbed beneath the shifting sands.
Okay, this appears to be the exit. Let's activate the Stormhall's Shadow Lock. Or maybe it's the Unknown Depth, I don't know. The Unknown Depth, yes, it says so right at the top of the screen. Hey, boss, Lord of Damnation.
I see riches ahead.
Huh, so much for a Lord of Damnation. And right side as well. As I said, I'm still doing the full exploration thing. Oh no, no.
My curse upon you.
More suicidal guys. It used to be quite bad with them because back in the days, I think that was like before even 1.3 or something, 1.03, like fairly long ago. These suicide guys could also be champion groups and elite groups. So usually because of their high damage potential and because of just the way they are, they had very low health, so you could kill them fast. Anything else would have been pretty unfair. But they could become champion and elite groups, and as elite mobs they had a huge damage and health boost. And the elite versions were actually almost impossible to kill before they reached you and blew up. So luckily at some point they changed that and decided to make it impossible for them to be champions and elites. I think that was the Enchantress talking about her leveling up. Okay, well that makes it easy. I was deciding which way to go, but then something from this side here attacked me, so I just went there. I'm hoping it's not the right way, but it might be.
My strike is true.
It feels like it really is a straight long corridor, which which was the right way last time. You see, this chest had a trap on it, so when I opened it, those guys spawned. I think they should make it where if you get such a trap, it has a better drop rate. Maybe it does, but I've never noticed it actually. I'll go down this route anyway, because I don't know if it's the correct way yet. It seems to be, but I'll just have to backtrack a little more that way. By the way, it's more of an OCD thing about me collecting all the health bubbles all the time. I don't like leaving stuff lying around. So if you're wondering why I sometimes go back to pick up a health bubble even though I'm fully healed, there's no in-game reason to do that. It's just my OCD forcing me to do so, basically. Sometimes it would be reasonable to heal the dogs and the gargantuan as well, because they get healed by them. But that's more the exception than the general rule. Mostly, as I said, it's because I can. And level 25, and I'm not trying not to look at what I'm getting. La-di-la-di-la, it's not that easy. Focusing on combat, I'm not reading it, I want to be surprised. A boss. Okay, it's gone now, so I'll read it in a bit. Okay, fine. Now that it's gone, I would like some peace and quiet to actually do the level up. Thank you. This seems like a good place. My mojo. For now, I'm only looking at which values improve, basically, to see if I want anything new. But this one actually gives me more damage, and I can, and that's before adding a socket to it. So
remember to search the bookshelves. Wizards will hide their treasures there sometimes.
I think it would be a good idea to use this one then. As soon as I get back to town and put a gem in it, of course. Oh, active skill. My poison dart gets spined dart. Gain 23 mana every time a poison dart hits an enemy. Fair enough. Haunt gets replaced by Grasp of the Dead. Death is life. Enemies who die while in the area of Grasp of the Dead have a 10% chance to produce a health globe or summon a zombie dog. That's interesting. And finally I get Big Bad Voodoo. Conjure a fetish that begins a ritual dance that increases the attack speed and movement speed of all nearby allies by 20% for 20 seconds. It's got a massive cooldown though. Hate to see the gargantuan go, but still. Now I'm afraid that the Grasp of the Dead really isn't going to get me enough zombie dogs to allow me to drop the passive skill. But what I can do now is drop the zombie handler, I think. And switch back to... I've used Blood Ritual before, so I'm trying to use something new. Spiritual Attunement just doesn't seem like it just seems so plain. I've used that one before. I'm guessing I'll switch to Bad Medicine, which does, it reduces damage of enemies I hit with poison damage, which my poison darts obviously do. So,
Riches await us.
that's why I'm switching to it. I'm hoping I can get this particular side dungeon done this episode. But my hopes are good. It's probably possible. There we are. The disadvantage obviously is the poison darts are purely single target damage, so not at all what you want to use to destroy like groups of vases and stuff. Vases. Whatever. Ancient tomes, ancient urns, all that kind of stuff. But then I do have the Grasp of the Dead for
My
that.
strike is true. Need more time.
Sad it's got such a high recharge, but it seems like decreasing damage with the poison damage, you know what I mean, the passive skill I've used, that could be very useful for boss fights actually, because in boss fights I'm only facing a single enemy, usually, or mostly facing a single enemy.
Agree that the end times are upon us. But do you truly believe that Belial and Asmodan could have engineered these events?
I know you, Cool. Even when you speak truly, the truth is hidden.
So, in a boss fight it seems like that would enable me to basically reduce the boss's damage by 20% continuously. And that seems very helpful when dealing with tough enemies. Alright, so I am now at the 20 minutes, but I think I'll see how much backtracking I have to do, basically. Probably there's not going to be very much at the entrance there. Lag. It still happens from time to time. It's not as bad as when the game was launched, but that's the huge disadvantage with having this game always online. The servers sometimes just can't hold up.
You die! Need more time.
What did happen a few days ago was that the login servers were just down entirely. So for, I think it was almost a day, no one could play, or at least a lot of people couldn't play Diablo 3 or Hearthstone. Which is, I guess it's normal that online games have their downtimes, but it's also fairly annoying. I would prefer it if they decided to include an offline mode in this kind of game. I mean, I can see why they want online stuff as DRM and such. I think it's a bad way to solve the problem, but I see why they're doing it, but they could offer some sort of offline mode anyway. I mean, it worked in Diablo 2 where you had your heroes for the Battle.net online play, which was fairly... well, obviously you didn't have much of a guarantee that people didn't use cheats, but there was supervision and you had more certainty that there was not as much cheating, basically. Fairly certain people did cheat in some ways, but it was far less. And then you had the single player mode where you had the same campaign, and if someone wanted to cheat they could, but it wouldn't harm online gameplay. And I think they should have done that for this game as well, but they didn't want people to use illegal copies, I guess.
This is the machine.
Do you see that enemy over there? Let us cleanse it from this land.
fine.
Try as we might, Kul simply cannot be killed. His cursed blood sustains him. He bleeds sand and his laughter mocks us. There is only one course of action left to us. We will separate his body and his head, and hide the body within the Shadow Realm.
Seems like a very drastic measure to take. I do like the Grasp of the Dead. That's quite a cool crowd control kind of skill. And I don't want the white items. As I said, even at this point they are worthless.
Many traps lay in wait for us here if we do not take care.
Yes, many traps do lie in wait for us here. Actually, I just forgot to use the big bad voodoo. Let's see, is there a fight here? Yes, there is. So it increases, what was it, movement speed and attack speed of everyone in range, and I think it's it actually cannot be destroyed, so
I have been healed.
haha. Can I pick up health globes while I'm in that state actually? I'll have to check next time. Yes I can. That's interesting. And I can fight as well. Good. So it really is a kind of panic button. Which I like. I enjoy panic buttons. And apparently I was able to poison that arcane device kind of thing. Not exactly reasonable, but then again. That's fine. Now let's open that shadow lock. Unlock it, actually. And some more urns.
Need more time.
Which contains some more gold. And back to the terminus. Now we can enter the Realm of Shadow. The next fetch quest, basically. But we'll do that next time, so I'll see you then. Bye bye!